YouTube was down the other day, so shout out YouTube for coming back. Don't know what happened. Be very interesting to hear what the issue was, but it was down globally. So I'm here today to do, or tonight rather, to do a little bit of an update because I know I haven't been live for a few days, and I have been recording the January reads, and I'm going to try as much as possible to launch them prior to the beginning of the month so that you guys can have the information ready and waiting. And I'm going to try week by week to get the videos to a point where they're launched earlier. Now, post eclipse, a lot of you guys can feel almost like Penny Little, the sky's going to fall down, is anything going to happen? You may actually find that it's in the weeks coming. And it can also kind of move in well and truly. Some of it can be very sort of slight, where you can see things in the media. And it is to do with spirituality. It's also to do with our, and collectively, it is to do with our belief systems, religion, and things to that degree, education. It can also be, elites, sports stars, things to that degree. So subjects in that area, as well as astrology, may be up for review. Our belief systems also, and at the moment we do have the sun, I believe, is in Sagittarius. Hi, Dal. So look, the way you're going to be tackling things pretty much from, let me double check the date where I am, excuse me, 15th. So Mars is going, Aries and Chiron rather, is going stationary direct. So with that, some of your sleeping patterns might have been on and off, and that's due to the fact that we've got Aries and Chiron moving forward. We did have Mars retrograde for quite some time, and we're all really recouping. And with all this Sagittarius energy, it's making us really go, go, go. And to a degree, it's really burning that midnight oil and feeling extremely fatigued. So you may find that you've got so much to do in such a short space of time, and you're wondering whether you're going to be able to achieve it. Now, some of that is making beautiful aspects where, as long as you know what you need to do and you're putting your back into it, you will get things done. But the problem will be with Mercury in Sagittarius, your concentration level can be distorted and quite difficult. So writing it down, problem solving as you go, but just really working through it, to a point. You're ticking things off your list that you need to achieve. Now, also, you may have issues linking to your emotions, because moon energy is always a feminine energy. It's emotions, it's feelings. So you can find at the moment subjects to do with that playing out. Now, towards the end of the month, we're going to be having a full moon in Cancer. And for many of you, that full moon in Cancer can relate to feminine energies, mother energies. In May, we did have the nodes in Cancer and Capricorn. So with those themes, even moving into January, we have a lot of heavy Capricorn placements. So all of what we learned prior to May, around 2017, 18, I believe, or was it 18, 19, I think it was, we were really playing out those themes with the North and the South node between Cancer and Capricorn, and we'll be able to directly apply it in January. But there can be some tension points, especially for Aquarians. You're having this month, your Zodiac is shifting over into the first house placement with Saturn and Jupiter. But themes to do with your psychology and the 12th house placement are going to be playing out again in January, but you will have the tools to be able to achieve those things. Mars is also transiting away from Aries for the first time in a while. And so for a lot of us, we're going to get a break from that heavy placement of both Aries and Chiron and Mars and Aries. So it was quite aggravated, quite intensified. And, depending on where it was hitting in your chart, it was really aggravating that point. But it was there for a reason. And we do have Aries and Chiron there for 7 years. So it's helping you work through those wounds as we proceed forward. Now, by the time we do reach the 7th in January, it is transiting over to Taurus, and we'll also have Black Moon Lilith in Taurus. We'll also next year in 2021, we'll be having 3 points where Uranus and Taurus is going to be squaring Saturn in Aquarius. And with that, there can be changes to do with finances, to do with beauty, to do with agriculture. And there's sudden changes. where you're moving in one direction and suddenly something shifts, but it is for the higher good. Squaring aspects can be difficult, but with Uranus and Taurus, it's almost quite sudden. It sort of happens really right away. It's not like other aspects in astrology that are quite slow moving, and it is going stationary direct on the 1st of January. So it can even be playing out. Some of those themes can be playing out already for a lot of you. You also may be feeling a lot of the energy of Saturn in Aquarius and Jupiter in Aquarius already. And that can just be, sort of psychic downloads, thoughts to do with where you want to go. How you want to utilize that energy, and it may be creative pursuits. And with the age of Aquarius, it's going to be very fast paced, and it's also with the nodes in Gemini, it's going to really amplify that. But there's going to have to be this healthy balance between Saturn in Aquarius, you helping other people versus you helping yourself. You've got to find that healthy balance because there could be this push-pull initially with us adjusting to it where we're wanting to do too much and we're overcompensating and giving, but then to the detriment of our own disposition. And there's this fine line, and it can be social endeavors. And the funny thing is, with the eclipse in Sagittarius, with these turning points, although many astrologers do mention that this is quite a beneficial conjunction point that's coming on the 21st, we did say years ago that 9 times out of 10 to bring people together, which is Sagittarius, it's spirituality, something major usually has to happen. And I wouldn't be surprised if something to that degree does. Now, I do know that obviously with the pandemic, those things, hi sweet, those things potentially have brought us together, but they've also separated us because we're having conversations to do with what we should do, how things should play out. All of us quite nervous. I know in the astrology community we have a viewpoint based on the astrology aspects and how we can view certain things, and we do that from a tried and true. Some could say it's scientific. Others, it's linking back to the history of when those planets made certain aspects, what can come through with those situational shifts, and it can play out very uniquely. I mean, some astrologers have said that, and 2021 is healthier. There has been some predictions relating to, what would you call it, a recession. But I wouldn't call it a recession. I'll call it the Great Depression, because that's what occurred in the previous conjunction points many moons ago. But with the tools that we have in this lifetime, and because it is going to be in the air sign Aquarius, we have an opportunity that if we do work together, we can actually make a difference and use different ways. You will find new stars will be coming to the forefront. A lot of blogging, a lot of technology innovation. Science will be really expanding in 2021. And depending on where that Gemini and Sagittarius axis was for each of you individually, refer back to the videos. You're going to have that transform over the next 18 months, and it's due to the fact the nodes are there for 2.5 years. So as for travel, I do feel there may be travel, but because we're guided to move towards the North Node, it's really looking around and dealing with what we have at hand, and it's very similar to any quality system in life. I know some of us may be wanting to return home, move states, move countries. Those themes can be coming up, especially when we do move into 2021. The opportunities may be there, but for many it may be essential, for this is a requirement due to family or something else to that position, because really to be energetically having to work with the North Node, it is local energy. So that potentially could be there for 2.5 years, where we're developing the stability both in the economy potentially, and I'm not a financial advisor, this is from an astrological point of view, and an astrological point of view. So as for movement, there may be movement, but we may be guided to really focus on what we have right in front of us, what we can do with that, developing that. It's a bit like building a business, starting from the bottom and working to the top to really do that quality system to evolve it. And, some of you, The best benefit right now, I would definitely say, is in networking and developing your career field right now with what you have at your disposition, be it the media, be it technology and innovation. Thinking outside the box of those creative things are really going to benefit you. We do have Mercury in January going retrograde, but it is towards the end. So having time between now and 2021 mid next month to get all your ducks in a row, to get your paperwork sorted, to look at your physical foundation and maybe some creative ventures that you want to launch. The last 2 weeks of December, as well as the first 2 weeks of January, are very pivotal and important for that, because as Mercury goes retrograde, you probably won't have that movement in resumes floating around, launching things, gaining those financial benefits until after Mercury retrograde. So that will really hold you back well into late February. So if you are wanting to launch something, now would be the better time to do it. And if you need coaching, I still have some spaces available, but they're quite limited. So get in quick, because as we move towards the full moon in Cancer, a lot of you can get quite triggered and emotional. And it's due to the fact collectively we're moving towards Uranus and Taurus going direct next month. And your nervous system can be quite shocked from the stress level. So how have we all been doing? Purging, definitely. At the moment, because we have Venus and Scorpio, I'm connecting with this on the 15th. A lot of you may want that very, very deep connection, but there's trust-related dynamics going on. On the phone, you are about 2 seconds ahead. Who are you telling you're busy? Oh, you want to put my head on TV? Gosh, I need to colour my hair, honestly. I've been burning that. I've recorded today 6 videos for January, and I have decided to split your zodiac signs into 4 parts. So it's going to be week by week, and I'm hoping I can cope with it. But at the moment, that's where it stands. And well, I do tend to try and always say under offer, over deliver, but I have already started the process and the astrology's there. So I'm getting my practice in order. So I've got 6 recorded today. I've got another 6 to do tomorrow, and that's the first week of January done. And I will attempt to launch it prior to January so that you can get prepared for that. But some of the things I'm telling you now will prepare you, but individually you'll have certain aspects going on. And again, it is it's a very personal transit. Whoever tries to interrupt. Hi, Yan. You must go see her gorgeous art. She really should be selling it. She's a very talented artist. So, yes, how many zodiac signs have we got in the house? What's been happening with all of you? Are you all handling the energy? There can be a lot of people as well having very separate viewpoints at the moment. Hi, Sway. Yeah, well, we do have scorpionic energy there at the moment. So the scorpionic energy is endings and new beginnings. I do really feel... Oh, I don't look so flush right now. I do really feel that with the scorpionic energy, you can have this feeling that that's something hidden. You can also have a feeling that you are very protective of yourself. So, spiritually speaking, union is very close, but union always happens with yourself first. You predominantly will have a feeling about it. You will innately know, but you won't have an attachment to it. Yes, well, as Mars, Aries, and Chiron goes direct, you will find that some of these things, I know, with the inflammation, bowel-related situations, and I know it sounds vulgar, but I'm just being brutally honest, your fluid, your energies, your nervous system, because Uranus and Taurus relates to nervous system, trying to detox now would be really good. A lot of you, again, because of the depleted energy of Mars and Aries and Chiron retrograde, you were eating maybe heavy foods or sweet foods, or processed foods. And again, regardless of what you were eating, you would have found it very hard for digestion because heavy, bulky foods, it's a bit like being diabetic. You're trying to get something in to give you a little bit of fuel, but it's just not doing the trick. And it's because we just need to accept that with the astrology, Mars makes us extremely fatigued. Now, you'll be very happy to know there's no Mars retrograde next year. I felt absolutely wrecked. I still feel wrecked. It's a bit like, being Kramer on Friends, Was it Friends? No, Kramer. And feeling really tired, really nuked on the caffeine, wide awake but physically fatigued. And that's really how I've been probably for about 12 weeks now. So, self care and things to that degree have been very difficult, but just accepting where you are in your life, that you will get on top of these things, working through it so you can have that break. And you can even be home and require that break. A lot of you might even be quite stir crazy with the Sagittarius energy, wanting to get out and about, wanting to move your ships forward, but just feeling really frustrated. It's a bit like the psychology of it in your thought process and in your communication is then in your energy, because we have Sagittarius in the sun energy. So again, it's caution to it because you can get quite burnt out. But a lot of these things you might find are an absolute necessity. I mean, 2 days ago, I was trying to complete videos, um, connecting in with templates for the astrology for 2021, having copious amounts of phone calls, which I thought was hilarious because, again, communication house for Libra was very activated with the third house placement. And so that was just non-stop, really, to the point I got very cross. I think I ended up screaming. I was going, "Good God, this is ridiculous." It was just over the top on the 14th. Super, super busy. Both Twin and I have been extremely busy. I think most people be it you're working or you're not, it's either and Aquarius is a lot of people, right? So it's global energy, it's the wider group, it's your hopes and dreams and aspirations collectively, and making those things come through. The Sagittarius eclipse has really amplified that. It's really bringing those to the forefront. Now, when we say we move away from the south node and towards the north node, you will 100% find you will be doing something in that domain completely different. It doesn't mean leaving it behind and never going back to it. It's just a different way of doing things, and there's lessons linking to it. So, for many of you, it can be with Jupiter being growth and the nodes being in Sagittarius. It's not that you're not going to get the growth, it's that you're going to be doing it differently. And to balance it and to enhance that south node, you're learning from the north node to apply it to the south node. So it's a yin and yang effect, really, if you get my gist. Well, it is, I don't know what time it's here. It's quite late. It's 9 o'clock. Well, it's not really late. The other night, I think I went to bed 1 o'clock in the morning. And that's odd for me, quite late, because I do get up pretty early. You caught me live, Dawn. How you doing, Dale? Yeah, I just wanted to have a chat to you guys. Say to you, no, I haven't forgotten you. That yes, I will be doing a twin flame update soon. I'm not doing it tonight because I want to be anchored in and grounded. I do have quite a bit to do tomorrow, but if I can wake up early enough, I will do it first thing in the morning. So for America, that will be your PM, early PM, depending on how early I can drag myself out of bed. Have quite a busy week. But with the zodiac signs, you'll find you'll be getting weekly forecasts per zodiac sign. As I get on top of those, I'll then add different videos, which will be romance reads, and then it will be, and I'll continue doing the lives throughout. So I don't think that because I'm doing weeklies, I won't be lives. I'm trying to get as many as possible done. My daughter has been on school holidays for a while, so that's put things back to a degree. She wants a little bit of time with mum, which is virtually impossible during this point of the year. Between Christmas and New Year's, and trying to bring the finances in, balance the routine of the schedule. So doing those things, I'm trying to get as much done as possible so that you get more content moving forward, plus I'm more balanced to come to you live, and I will be offering different services. You feel really good the last 2 days. Yeah, I kind of feel it's like the calm before the storm. I do feel this conjunction point's going to be good, but I do feel we're going to get yin and yang. And that's just my honesty with it, because we do have the agitation of Mars moving forward. And as we move into the first week of January, it's going up in degree points. And, when Mars is at a certain degree point, it can be inflamed. So we'll keep an eye on the aspects there. And I will be starting to do astrology per country in certain countries, because obviously I have the 12 zodiac signs a week. So doing that and having a look at maybe themes here and there, finances, movement, themes that can be coming up with the astrology in certain countries. My cat and animals at the moment have been acting a little bit nutty. I just feel something huge is coming collectively. So do I. And I mean, the eclipse in Sagittarius, I don't think we've actually seen the biggie yet. I'll just be honest with you. I kind of have this feeling it'll be quite large. I probably would not be traveling right about now, and that's because we had, that eclipse in Sagittarius, and that's, it's long distance energy. I probably would delay it a little bit. I know it's sentimental at the moment, being Christmas coming in New Year's. It's just an instinctual feeling. Very much linking to the agitation with Mars, amping up a notch, the conjunction points. We're still having conjunctions with Saturn and Pluto at the moment. So endings, changing things around, getting that foundation correct, checking and assessing. And also with, how do I put it? Because we have Sagittarius there, plus we currently have it in Mercury traveling, feeling intense, being in the, your ego thinking and the bigger picture, maybe not concentrating, you're more inclined to have accidents. So pay attention on the road at the moment with the way the energy is. But whatever it is, moving into Saturn in Aquarius and Jupiter in Aquarius, it's almost like something's got to play out to bring all of us together, because Aquarius is it's wider group energy, which potentially we could look at the given situation, Hydel, that has occurred that we do need to moving forward to be able to, network, build, work together. To boost the economy, to boost our self-esteem, to have that direct support and tribe. And I do feel that's very important in order to have that success, is to have that direct foundation. So, yes, it will be required. And this light's really bright. Yeah, and look, it will be, because the nodes are in Gemini for 2.5 years. So traveling, you guys for 2 years, honestly, pay attention. I'm telling my partner all the time, pay attention to the road. Pay attention. Not, it doesn't have to be you. It's that agitation, frustration. Look, any relationship that formed during a Mars retrograde, as Aries and Chiron goes direct, some of those things, if there were cracks in it prior, but maybe there was ego, they'll really see that moving forward. So, for whoever you are, if you're in a connection and you haven't been sure about it for a very long time, and you'd been holding on, situations can really be coming to a head at this real end point of December, where the tension can really be boiling if it's not an alignment for you. And major decisions will end up being made due to circumstances of moving forward into 2021. So it's a bit, you really don't want to be in an out of alignment space at this point of the year, because it can be quite karmic in nature. I feel many of you, as much as we do look at this as Christmas and New Year's, because of the astrology and only just having Aries and Chiron on the 15th going stationary direct, you'll find that your energy is going to pick up. Yes, there can be beautiful aspects. Theoretically, we deem it as the billionaire's conjunction, which is on the 21st. If you've been putting your back into it, you've had the work moving forward. But situational ships, how do I put it? Burning that midnight oil to get things done. You got to get to the point where you are making the best life and you attract it that way. But if you're tapping into it and you're already having the self-fulfilling prophecies, oh my gosh, another Christmas, another New Year's, it's if you actually step back from it and say to yourself, if we have absolutely no control over that, apart from the fact that if our energy can match the highest frequency, we can attract it. You've got to see that by having the best possible life every year, every moment, all we have that is assured is this one very moment, you will start moving into alignment of appreciation of everything you have, and you won't be looking outside of yourself for that. You'll be swapping it to a point you think, why wouldn't somebody want to be with me? But you're going to shift it to the point you're looking at your life and saying, every moment of my life is precious, and I won't live it in vain. I will live it consciously so I can have the highest vibration. And I would always do things that made me feel good, made me feel empowered, and sharing it with people, looking at the benefits, and just, working through that. But sometimes it's very necessary to sit with that alone and move forward, but just to look at it differently and to be open to possibilities without expectation. But yes, it's natural, but purging it is quite a technique, and it's about looking at the patterns of codependency, looking at the patterns of, almost like telling yourself it's always going to be this way. But, we can't change what they do, we can change what we do. And that was the happiest way I lived, was really going, okay, well, if I can't guarantee that a new Joe blog or an old Joe blog or twin can or can't make me happy, what can I do? If I'm the common denominator in my life, what's going to make me happy? What can I do to make that the best possible life? And I continue to I had a multicultural family, and I shared both beliefs. I was very open-minded. I have many cultural friends from different nations, and I'm very open to belief systems. But I do tend to sit with my own energy from a spiritual point of view, not a religious point of view. So I'm very open to differing races and things to that degree, plus the fact that I'm a half-caste. So but with that, I used to put the Christmas tree up, and regardless of where I was, whether I was partnered, single, with my child, without my child, I would choose to make myself a nice dinner, and I would choose to actually enjoy that moment and the luxuries, of having that food, not having that stress, sitting back, having bubble baths, enjoying a movie. Please just avoid Bridget Jones's Diary all by myself. Okay, we're not going there. We're going to High Vibe. If you're going to do it, you've got to do it funny. You have to. Get into the comedy of things. Try not to go back on I've missed another birthday, I've missed another Christmas. It's just not going to help. It just doesn't. It's natural, but it doesn't help. Trust me. And the more you can do that, the better you'll be, and it does then directly attract it to you. You know. Yeah, just every time it comes up for you to self-master, Twin bought me a Buddha, cheeky devil. The other day we went out and I went to grab food and he put it in the car, had no idea about it, and he bought me a gift, and it was a Buddha, and it was to do with living in the, and it's what I preach on, YouTube. It's, you're not at yesterday, you're not at tomorrow, you're here today. Yeah. Comedy. Best way. You got to laugh at yourself. But yeah, just being in this one moment, because it's all we have assured, and it's like if the fair-base frequency from the past comes up, which can relate to the eclipse in Sagittarius and Gemini, or your future moving forward into 2021, are we there yet? No. Do we want to be? Let's just sit for a moment with what's happened in 2020. And I know that sounds gnarly, but it's fair to. It's a bit like the old Dark Night of the Soul. When we were sweeping things under the carpet, it came back and reared its ugly head. Let's just pause for a minute and assess what we've all collectively been through. And so this isn't a general Christmas. This isn't a general New Year. This is the most unique experience all of us collectively had. And just taking stock to the gratitude of what we have in front of us. You know, do we have food on the table? Do we have a roof over our head? Do we have good quality friends? Do we have people on YouTube that we can talk to? Whoever they be. What do we have? What are we grateful for? And looking at, gee, we've made it through that. You know, even though it may be a year, we've still made it through that. There's been heartbreaks, there's been losses, there's been shocks and anger and aggression and divide, and it's so very sad. But hopefully, you know, we can actually take stock and look at it and move forward and be prepared to move into 2021 in a very different vibration. And with the eclipse in Sagittarius, you're going to find that your whole life is going to change so profoundly you will not recognize it in 18 months. It's quite an important eclipse. I don't think collectively we understand how important it is yet. But it's also at a collective level, not only at a singular level. So, you know, at the collective level, I still think we have things to observe. Yes. Any questions while I'm in the house? Because I'm going to go to bed. This light's giving me a lazy eye. I have been up since 5. No questions? Any circumstances coming up? The eating and the emotions may be more controlled at the moment. Any inflammation, tension, it can be alleviated and it can start depleting now. If you did have things come up during Mars retrograde in Aries and Chiron retrograde and they were health dynamics, you know, get them checked out. As we have Aries and Chiron going direct, some of those things can be alleviated. Fluid retention, lower back, bowel related things. But, you know, obviously if there's something major coming up, you know, go and have that looked at. We surely are. As you mentioned lunch boxes, I'm mentioning, you know, bowels. I hope nobody's eating right now. Deepest apologies. And as I said, my cat's acting strange. So if your animals are acting strange, it's, yeah, the energy's there. Yeah, I know, Sally, right? Anywho, I love you all. Only a very short space of bookings left, guys. So if you are wanting them and you're feeling that, you know, with this energy moving forward into the conjunction point, there can be triggers coming up with the conjunction prior and then after, because we are moving to the full moon in Cancer. So yes, there can be trigger points coming up. Now, the Schumann resonance has been spiking again. You do need to pay attention to it because of collective energy. It will go up and down, and sometimes you may have felt that prior. And I feel maybe even prior to the eclipse and on the day of the eclipse, and then it does settle down after, but it may spike up again. So paying attention to the Schumann resonance can give you a heads up as to how your ascension symptoms are going. And the more you tapped into it, you'll tend to find you feel it prior to it occurring. But yes, it is spiking, so do be prepared. I will love you and leave you. Thank you for joining. Thank you for liking and putting comments in the videos and that. It does help it spread. I'll try and come back tomorrow. I'll put a message in the community tab first. I've got one more lady to do for a video and then I'm pretty much up to date, but I've still got to do the videos for the Zodiacs. So I've got 6 more for the first week of January. Then I've got to start on the second week of January and try and get that done prior to Christmas. I've blocked a few days out later to do that, so I should be fine. Good night, sweet. Take care. Look after yourselves. I'll see you a little bit later. Check the community tab and I'll be back.